24th, 2022. Oh, I'll start over. That's okay, Josh. I'd like to call to order the Gig Harbor City Council meeting of Monday, October 24th, 2022. The time is 5:32 p.m. And I will do a roll call from my far left. Councilmember Wook.
Here.
Councilmember Storsett.
Here.
Councilmember Rodenberg.
Here.
Councilmember Likens.
Here.
Councilmember Rodenberg, Henderson.
Here.
Councilmember Denson.
Here.
And Councilmember Barber.
Here.
And we have our city staff with us tonight, our city clerk, Josh Stecker, our public works director, Jeff Langhelm, our finance director, Dave Rodenbach, and our police chief, Kelly Busey. Thank you for joining us as well. And some staff in the audience too, Carl DeSimas, principal planner, and Shannon Costanti, our interim HR director. Thanks for being here tonight. If you would all please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Before we begin this council meeting, we would like to recognize that we are gathered on not only the ancestral and traditional lands of the Squamish Band of the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, but also on the site of one of the largest and longest standing historic villages of the people, the original inhabitants of the Gig Harbor area. Council, are there any changes to the agenda tonight? Okay, we did add a 5-minute executive session at the end of the meeting. So at the very end, after we announce upcoming meetings, we will go into community rooms A and B. And then we'll come back and take action possibly and adjourn. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, council. For mayor's report this evening, I just wanted to welcome you all to an open house that we are having tomorrow evening. Our Public Works Department is hosting an open house on the phase 2 of the 38th Avenue sidewalk and bike lane project. This will be from 4:30 to 6 in the community rooms right down the hall here. And so we encourage you to join us if you're interested in hearing more about that project or providing input. And I wanted to wish everyone a happy and safe Halloween coming up. We're excited that we get to be back in person for all of our great downtown events and our uptown events as well. And we also have a bike contest on Saturday. I think it's Sunday. Rattle Dem Bones contest, costume contest, and bike ride. So all of these details are on our website, our Facebook page, and on our event calendar, but they're also in the Gigabyte. So subscribe to that if you would like to keep track of everything happening in the harbor. And that concludes my mayor's report. I will open up public comment on non-agenda items. Josh, were there any written comments received?
No written comments this evening.
Okay. Anyone in the audience wish to speak on a non-agenda business item? Okay. You can come forward, and if you would, you'll have 3 minutes, and you'll see the yellow light will blink when you have 1 minute left, or is it 30 seconds? 30 seconds.
Okay.
And if you would please state your full name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is John Schaefer, and my address is 7111 Stanage Avenue.
Welcome.
And I was here a couple weeks ago to talk about a parking issue. Myself and neighbors around us have a concern about the housing projects that are at the end of the road and the amount of cars that it is generating. We live in an R1 zoned area, but that's not exactly how it's being treated. And a lot of the cars have been going from either parking on the street as well as in the park. If you want, I can give you some pictures that we took.
Sure, you can pass those out.
My concern, and I've been working with Carl, and he's been great, and along with Jenny. I understand the multi-family home and also the multi-generation home that is thriving in this country right now because people can't afford their own homes. Their kids are moving back in the houses because they're trying to pay off their student loans and for other reasons. But you can't have those kind of housings and still have 2 parking spot requirements at the same time. You have to have on-site parking to accommodate those type of homes that are being built, and that's not happening now. And there's another one that's being built. Right next to the one that's being occupied right now, and it's 4 units. Right now, the one that's being up to 9 vehicles parked in front of it as well as in the street and in the park area. So if you do the math, you can imagine what it's going to be like when the other ones get done. So that's what our concern is. And I'm really trying to stress it. Carl said that they're going to put boulders along the park, between the park and Stanage Avenue. That's great. That was supposed to happen last week or this week. So far, that's not happened, but I know it's in the works. But I'm concerned that this kind of project is going to escalate in not just this area of town. It's going to be a problem if it's not addressed. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Anyone else wish to speak on a non-agenda item? Okay, great. Josh, are there any hands raised in our online audience this evening?
No hands raised in the audience tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us and thank you for providing public comment. We really appreciate hearing from you. So we will close the public comment and move on to new business item number 1, which is Resolution 1259, approving certain expenditures for reimbursement from the proceeds of debt to be issued in the future. And the suggested motion is to move to approve Resolution 1259. This report comes to us from our Finance Director, Dave Rodenbach.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, members of the council. This is a simple resolution to be in compliance with IRS rules. The city plans on purchasing a property later this year or this month. And we're going to fund it through the sale of a bond. We can't accomplish that bond sale that fast. So this resolution states our intent to reimburse ourselves with the subsequent sale of a bond. The numbers you see in there are very sketchy and rough. You're going to see a bond ordinance probably the second meeting in November, with final reading of that same ordinance the first meeting of December, and then the bond will be funded probably in January. With that, I'll take any questions.
Any questions from council? Okay, I'm not seeing any lights. So we will open up the public comment on this agenda item only. Josh, were there any written comments submitted?
No written comments.
Okay. Do you wish to speak on anything anyone in the audience wish to speak? Okay. Yes, and if you would please state your full name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Great. I'm Sarah Stewart. I live at 3715 17th Avenue, Port Northwest in Gig Harbor. I didn't know about this project, so I'm just curious what land is being purchased. And that's my comment and question, I guess, so.
Hard to, I don't know what the address is exactly, but it's 24 acres. Is that correct, Jeff? On off of Burnham Drive?
Correct, between Burnham Drive and Cushman Trail, south of 96.
Very close to me. Is it all written online, this information about the purchase, or?
No, a lot of this is not disclosed yet because we haven't closed on the property.
Okay,
Yeah, you'll be finding out more soon though.
cool. So I can't ask what the intent of the property is yet.
It's for conservation.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone in our online audience have their hands raised?
I don't see any raised hands online.
Okay, we'll close the public comment on this item. And council, do you have any questions or any other deliberation? Or a motion? Councilmember Barber.
I move to approve Resolution 1259.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I see no more lights. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, council. Our next item of business is our staff report. This is our third quarter budget update from our finance director, Dave Rodenbach as well.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. We're doing probably right on task for budget. We're at 73% total revenues going through the general fund. I haven't been able to update any of the other numbers, but I did take a peek at our preliminary sales tax distribution through October now. And we're still holding at like about 6.5% over last year in cumulative sales taxes received this year. So the reason I say that is that's what the budget is based on. We budgeted about 5% over last year. So that's holding true. If you have any questions on what's in here, I'm happy to answer.
Okay. Councilmember Henderson.
Thank you, Mayor. Had a kind of a quick question on the general fund expenditures. Year to date, we're only 53%. Do we have some large expenditures coming up that's going to push that up to 100%, or do you think we're going to be underspending this year?
I think we're going to be underspending, and I would bet my firstborn, well, on anything, I bet him, but it's probably,
No, please don't do that.
it's probably due to staffing vacancies that we started the year with,
Yeah.
and they've been some pretty significant ones and high paying positions. And so
All right, thanks.
Councilmember Likens.
Yes, thanks, Dave. You've worked hard for us in these last few weeks with budget. So I just want to thank you for this report. One thing I wanted to point out, just for those who aren't aware, the money that you pulled out of the local government investment pool and put into other investments, earning a better rate than what the government, that's saving our taxpayer dollars. It's brought in more income, so to speak, for the city. So bravo to you. Just wanted to give you a kudos for that.
thank you.
Any other questions for Dave? Okay, I'm not seeing any light.
My light's
Oh.
on.
Oh, your light's not working?
Oh, I have it pushed. It's not showing.
Oh,
up there.
it's not showing, so we'll have to fix that.
Sorry. Thank you.
Councilmember Wook.
So I just want to thank the administration for putting together the administrative finance report for the third quarter. And it's comforting to see that all our projects are getting done and that most of them are getting done on budget. So it's a great report. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Dave. Really appreciate you putting this together and all of the great work that you're doing right now with the budget and everything included in that. So any council reports or comments this evening? Councilmember Barber.
Keep talking tonight. Last week, we had a Tacoma Narrows Advisory Council meeting. And I just wanted to give a brief report on that. There was a lot, the majority of the topic was around security at the airport. And there was a very long discussion about whether or not to lock the gates at the airport 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The commission will be discussing this at a later meeting. So if you have any feedback for me on whether or not we should lock the gates 24/7, that basically keeps people off of the runways and away from the airplanes that they don't need to be near. If you could let me know, we're not a voting member of the commission, but I can obviously provide our feedback and input on this issue. Other than that, the other big item that we discussed again was the water system that is on the airport property that also provides the water for the Gig Harbor Fire Department that is near there on Point Fosdick. That water system has some issues that everyone knows about, and they're trying to figure out how to get funding from Pierce County, et cetera, to get it fixed. There's a lot of concern that if it isn't fixed and it falls apart, which is expected, there could be some problems for the neighborhood. So they may be coming back to us to see if we can help advocate for that, even though it's technically out of, the water system is out of the city, but it does serve some city residents. So those were the big things that we talked about last week. If you have any questions, let me know.
I'm assuming that they would have that key card access where people that have hangers would be the only ones that would be able to get in and out.
Right, they do have that. Evidently, there are some people who own businesses there who
Mhm.
don't want it locked though.
Oh, okay, interesting.
it was an interesting discussion.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? I don't see any other lights on or any other ones, lights not working. Okay, I don't see any, so we will conclude council reports and comments. Announcement of upcoming meetings. We have our city meetings calendar attached to this agenda on our website. And we have our 2-year strategic plan also on there. And so we will now go into executive session for 5 minutes to discuss the acquisition of real estate per RCW 42.30.110, parentheses 1, parentheses B. Action may be taken following the executive session.
The executive session is extended an additional 5 minutes until 5:57 PM. The executive session is extended an additional 5 minutes until 6:03 PM.
Welcome back to the Gig Harbor City Council meeting of October 24th, 2022. We have returned from executive session. The time is 6:04 PM. Is there a motion? Councilmember Henderson.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I'd like to make a motion, move to authorize the mayor to amend and sign a purchase and sale agreement for the Shah Peshek property in accordance with the terms discussed in executive session.
Second.
Okay, great. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, council. And now I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Wow.